Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. I want to show you what we are doing today. It's been a few days, been really busy doing all kinds of different stuff as I look at all the stuff I've been doing around here on the property, and I want to show you some of the stuff that just occurs because you have critters. And this would be, I would consider this dealing with dog bites with, well, chickens and people. Here we go. This is Miss Chicken, and she has a blue butt. And the reason she has a blue butt is because that is a topical antibiotic that you use to spray on livestock and fowl. And she came through the fence into where the dogs live, and so she was chewed pretty good. She is not dead. This is like day 3, and she seems to be doing pretty well. She, you can, I'm trying to turn her around so you can see, there we go, the damage to the buttocks where she was bitten. I don't think any organs were damaged or pierced. She has normal function, but this is kind of what happens on a farm or a homestead. And I actually have a section for treating, well, there you go. I actually have a, there you go, you heard it, chickens do fart, how about that? I have a section down here in the basement just for animal medical needs. And it's kind of similar to the human side, but you know, there's a couple of other different things, and this is some of the stuff that we use. Antiseptic for minor cuts and abrasions on livestock. And we always call this blue stuff or purple stuff. It comes in blue and purple. And it's used for cattle, large animals, as well as the smaller critters. You can actually use it on them, and people say you can't. Well, this chicken's doing pretty good with it. And so I would have to disagree. This happened about 3 days ago. The thing with chickens is that when they, the other chickens, they are a, I won't say herd because they're not quite a herd, but they are kind of like a communal group, and they have their pecking orders and all that. When they say one of them is injured, they kill them. It's just the way it is. And it is actually life in the wild. And so, to keep this one from dying, this is one of the ones we raised from teeny babies. We've got it separated until there is no more bleeding. She heals, and she does really well. Now, why do all this? It was a $3 bird. Okay, $3 bird, actually like a $5 bird, that you get from Tractor Supply or whatever. This bird represents about 1,500 egg production lifespan, and you can do the math. I sell my eggs for about $10 a dozen, and I know people are thinking, oh my god, I can get them for 97 cents at Walmart for a dozen. Absolutely, you sure can. Keep doing it. They won't be like mine. But this is what we've been dealing with. So this actually can represent a considerable loss of income for us, as well as you raise the birds up 6 months to a hatching age, and then they do not, they die. So you always have to be careful with this. One of the things to consider, you can see some of the scratches and cuts on the neck as well. Again, none of the organs, and organs I mean the ducts or gizzard or anything like that, have been damaged. So this is all superficial, and she's in good health. She's eating and drinking, and obviously you can see she's pooping. So this is what we do. She got into the yard with the dogs over the 4-foot fence and the chicken wire fence, and she had in trouble, and I went out there and got her, and I actually got in trouble myself because I ended up getting bit as well. And I'll show you this. Hang on. That was something right there. And I'll show you what I've been doing. And it's been sort of an experiment. And I will say I'm not a doctor. Do not do the crazy stuff that I do. And I'm going to be very careful when I touch this wound because I just picked that chicken up. Now what is that? That is basil. Basil, a lot of people do not know. Fresh basil from my hydroponics in my grow lab is a very powerful, when it's fresh, fantastic antibiotic. Has really good antibiotic properties. Now, I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to show you this. And you can see the two fangs, the two canine marks. And this is 3 days out after the bite. And it was red, swollen, and puffy. Pretty much about maybe a 4-inch area. And that is what we have right now. Hang on, I'll put this around so I can see. Yeah, there we go. And you can see it's actually weeping. I don't know whether the basil itself is softening up the scab and it's allowing it to weep out, which is what you want with a dog bite. That is ideal. I've been bitten before, and you never have anything closed or sutured up because they're filthy. Animal teeth and animal mouths, well, human mouths as well, are filthy, and there's just so much bacteria that you can get a really bad infection, and you can get really septic from just this stuff. And again, you see this is weeping. It's ideal. This is what I want it to do. You could go to the doctor and you could get a Z-Pack, and there is always, that possibility now when, there's not a problem. But see, here you go. In addition, if you have anything set aside, this is one of our boxes of medications, steroids, pred packs, prednisone, Z-Packs, and antibiotics. That's what we keep for just in such, emergencies. But I was curious. I'm in really good health, and I wanted to see. I had been reading up on basil, and I wanted to see how well it works. And you can see it works really well. I could have used comfrey, but comfrey heals so fast that it has the potential to close up the wound, and that is not what you want, again, with a dog bite. I could have used like plantain also. Plantain is nice and wild growing all through the yard and property. So I could have used plantain, and I might use a little bit of both. And so every day I wrap it up, every night I wrap it up, and you will see that it is draining and healing up nicely. There is no red. The only red you see is from where I ripped the bandage off. How about that? And it was a very good bite. So that is the kind of stuff we do on the farm. That is what we do. And on occasion we test our preps. And while I will say that is not ideal to do, that's what I did. And I am not a medical professional, and I don't play one on television, and I will never give you medical advice. But I will say I will make sure that I keep basil handy. I've also heard oregano is a very powerful antibiotic as well. A lot of these are the culinary herbs, and I think they are correct. And again, there's the basil, oregano, thyme, sweet marjoram, German, oh dang it, I can never, chamomile, dill, parsley. Parsley is a very powerful antibiotic as well. And you can see the cabbages that are doing well. Oh, and yes, we actually have pineapple that we are growing indoors hydroponically, kicking the buddies. Those things take up to 2 years. Those are tops that we cut off, and they will regrow. But all that's for another video. When you are on the homestead, you would do very well to set aside a certain amount of space, a box, think of like an igloo cooler, a big igloo cooler full of critter medicines and maintenance stuff, bandages, betadine, wipes, stuff like that. It'll really help, and it'll really go a long way, because there's a lot of stuff that you can use that crosses over from human into animal. There's a lot that will not. Tylenol and ibuprofen, for example, will not. Unless you do a certain amount of dosing. I know the dosing. I won't tell you. The only reason I know the dosing is because I used to work, you know, in the veterinary field. So let's just say you can't, and don't use it at all. But this is some of the stuff we have for veterinary oopses and critter problems. But she will more than likely do fairly well. She's eating, drinking, pooping. Went ahead and dosed the water with some medicated solution for coccidia, as well as for increased electrolytes, just to help when they're stressed like this. All chickens carry coccidia, and they tolerate it. If they get stressed, they can have problems. But that's a whole nother thing. All this to say this: use your preps. Prep for your critters. You're going to need them. Take care of your people, guys.